Imagine a world very different from our own. We are traveling back in time, not just 100 years, or even 1,000. We are journeying back 3.2 million years. This is the Pliocene epoch, a time when the Earth was warmer than it is today. A time before great cities, before farms, and before the world as we know it began. This ancient world was full of life. It was a time of great change. Continents were still slowly moving into the places we see them today. New mountains were rising. This was the stage upon which a remarkable story was about to unfold. The story of our very own ancestors. This period was a critical chapter in the book of life. The planet was teeming with animals, many of which would seem strange and fantastic to our modern eyes. Giant beasts roamed the land. The oceans were home to enormous sharks. But among all this magnificent life, something truly special was happening. In the heart of Africa, a new kind of creature was walking the earth. It was not the strongest, nor the fastest. Yet this creature held the key to the future. It was an early human ancestor, a hominin, taking its first upright steps. This small step was, in fact, a giant leap for all of humanity. The Pliocene was an age of transition. The world was gradually cooling down from a much warmer period. This cooling climate caused forests to shrink. In their place, vast grasslands and open woodlands began to spread across the continents. This change in the environment presented new challenges, but also new opportunities. For the animals living there, it was a time to adapt or disappear. For our early ancestors, this changing world was the perfect place to evolve. The open spaces encouraged a new way of moving, a new way of seeing the world. It was here, in this ancient setting, that the long journey of human evolution truly began. Understanding this distant past is like looking at the first page of our own family album. It helps us see where we came from. It shows us the incredible journey that life has taken. The world of 3.2 million years ago was not just a different time. It was a different planet in many ways. Yet, the echoes of that time are still with us. They are written in our DNA. They are hidden in the fossils buried beneath our feet. By exploring this lost world, we explore the very roots of what it means to be human. It is a journey worth taking, a story worth telling. Let us picture the landscape of East Africa, 3.2 million years ago. This was the cradle of humanity. The climate was warmer and wetter than it is in the same region today. There were no vast, dry deserts like the Sahara. Instead, the land was a mosaic of different environments. Wide, open savannas stretched out under a brilliant sun. These grasslands were filled with tall, waving grasses. Dotted across this landscape were patches of dense woodland and lush forests. These forests grew thick along the winding rivers and around the edges of large, shimmering lakes. This mixture of trees and open space was the perfect habitat for many kinds of animals, including our ancestors. The plants of this time were both familiar and strange. There were acacia trees, with their flat tops, providing shade from the hot sun. There were fig trees and palm trees, offering fruit to those who could reach it. The ground was covered in a carpet of grasses, but also roots and tubers that grew underground. These underground plants were a hidden source of food, a vital store of energy. For a small hominin, learning where to find these plants was a key to survival. The world was a natural garden, but one that required knowledge and skill to harvest its bounty. Every plant could be a meal, or it could be a poison. The animal life was truly spectacular. Imagine elephant-like creatures called Dinotherium, with tusks that curved downwards from their lower jaw. Herds of three-toed horses called Hipparion galloped across the plains. There were saber-toothed cats with terrifyingly long canine teeth, silently stalking their prey through the tall grass. In the rivers, crocodiles and hippos were a constant danger. This was a world of giants. But there were smaller creatures too. Monkeys chattered in the trees, and ancient pigs rooted in the soil. It was a complex and dangerous web of life, with predators and prey in a constant dance of survival. Into this world stepped our ancestor, Australopithecus afarensis. This small hominin was not at the top of the food chain. Far from it. Standing only about 1 to 1.5 meters tall, they were vulnerable. They had to be clever. They had to be watchful. The environment provided everything they needed to live: water from the lakes, food from the plants, and trees for safety. but it also presented constant danger. Every shadow could hide a predator, every rustle in the grass could mean trouble. Life was a daily challenge, a test of awareness and cooperation. What was a typical day like for an Australopithecus afarensis? The day would begin with the rising sun. They likely slept in the safety of tall trees, away from the predators that hunted on the ground at night. A small group, perhaps a family, would wake up together. Their first priority was finding food and water. They were not mighty hunters. Their diet was mostly plant-based. They would search for ripe fruits in the trees, like figs and berries. They used their hands to dig for nutritious roots and tubers in the soft earth. They might also eat insects, bird eggs, or small lizards if they were lucky. Finding food took up most of their day. The group would move together across the landscape. Walking upright on two legs was a huge advantage. It allowed them to see over the tall grass, to spot food sources from a distance, and to watch out for danger. It also freed up their hands. They could carry food, or perhaps a simple tool like a stick or a stone. They did not make complex stone tools yet, but they might have used unmodified stones to crack open nuts or bones. They communicated with each other using sounds and gestures, sharing information about where to find the best food or warning of a nearby threat. Danger was never far away. A saber-toothed cat could be hiding in the bushes. A large hyena could try to attack a smaller, weaker individual. The group's safety depended on everyone staying alert. If a predator was spotted, they would create a loud noise, shouting and waving their arms to try and scare it away. Their best defense was to run to the nearest tree and climb to safety. The trees were their refuge, their safe haven in a dangerous world. Life was a constant balance between finding food on the ground and seeking safety in the branches above. As the sun began to set, the group would look for a safe place to spend the night. They would return to a familiar group of tall trees. One by one, they would climb up into the branches, finding a secure spot to rest. Here, huddled together, they were relatively safe from the dangers of the night. Their day was a simple cycle driven by basic needs. Find food, drink water, avoid being eaten, and find a safe place to sleep. It was a difficult life, but they were survivors. They were the pioneers of a new way of being, a way of life that would eventually lead to us. How do we know so much about these ancient ancestors? We know because they left clues behind. These clues are fossils, the ancient remains of living things preserved in rock. One of the most important discoveries ever made was in Ethiopia in 1974. A team of scientists found the fossilized skeleton of an Australopithecus afarensis. She was a female, and they named her Lucy. The discovery was incredible. About 40% of her skeleton was found. This gave us a remarkable and detailed picture of what these early hominins looked like. Her bones told a powerful story. Lucy's skeleton proved that our ancestors were walking upright long before their brains became large. Her hip and knee bones were very similar to ours, perfectly suited for walking on two legs. Yet her skull was small, holding a brain not much larger than a chimpanzee's. She also had long arms and curved finger bones, which suggests she was still very good at climbing trees. Lucy was a creature of two worlds. She walked on the ground but still used the trees for safety and perhaps for food. She is a perfect example of a transitional fossil, a link between an older, ape-like ancestor and later humans. The discovery of Lucy and other fossils like her changed everything we thought we knew about human evolution. Before Lucy, many scientists believed that our brains grew big first, and that led to us walking upright. Lucy showed that the opposite was true. Our ancestors stood up first. This simple act of standing on 2 feet was the evolutionary spark that set us on a new path. It freed the hands for carrying and, eventually, for tool making. It changed how our ancestors saw the world and interacted with it. It was the first step on the long road to becoming human. Learning about Lucy and the world of 3.2 million years ago is more than just a history lesson. It connects us to our deepest roots. It reminds us that we are part of a long and incredible story of survival, adaptation, and change. These small, vulnerable hominins living a difficult life on the African savanna were our pioneers. Their struggles and their successes laid the foundation for everything that came after. By studying their bones and the world they lived in, We are piecing together the story of ourselves, a story that began a very, very long time ago, under an ancient African sun.